Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show. Different time this week, joined by my co-host as always, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You alright, bud?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. You know, hanging in there, the usual crap for a wash to
good
lad,
lad,
this week. But how about yourself, mate?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, finished work now, pretty much. I'm going to swing the mouse around tomorrow and hopefully see what happens. But yeah, apart from that, it's all good. It's Christmas, so this is why we're going a little bit earlier in the week. We just thought no point going Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day. Obviously, we're not going to do that. I don't think your wife or my wife would be very happy with doing a pod on Christmas Day. Probably not an ideal situation, to be fair. We'll start as we always do, then, mate. Dunstable Town FC's Talk of the Town podcast.
I mean, rather be sorry to interrupt, but I would rather be live rather than pre-record it and then.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, got to be live. But yeah, Dunstable Town's FC's Talk of the Town podcast, where they're sponsored this year. Also, Oddballs, you can go across to myoddballs.com. They will have a New Year's sale on, I'm sure, over there. Also graciously sponsored by Fusion Therapeutics, which is northwich-physio.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessments and treatments with a focus on holistic care, dedicated to improve your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal health plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. So if you're in the Northwest, Manchester or the Cheshire area, give the team a call on 01606 512 013. You can book online and they'll be happy to advise you further on this affordable treatment solution. Also, if you want to check out bleedingburgundy.com, go over there and check them out. They do writing, they've got a picks league, all that sort of stuff over there, so go and give them a look as well. Into the news then, mate. This week, Tressway has just been announced today. He is the starting punter. There is only one punter for the NFC, but he has been picked. It's his third Pro Bowl. Congratulations to Tress. Statistically, in the NFL as a whole, he was second with the amount of punts within the 20-yard line. So it's good to see him getting that.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know.
Two ranked punter in the league.
I'm not sure. Maybe we've used him too much. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'd much rather be San Francisco's punter at the minute, who hasn't punted since November. So maybe.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I'd rather him not make the Pro Bowl and us do well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. I mean, we all know how good.
Hello, Sponge. Thanks for being with us.
We know how good Tressway is, and he's been one of our best players. Since he's been here. How long has he been here now? What, 10 years? Even a bit longer than that.
Yeah, 11.
11 years now, is it?
Yeah, he's only on a 1-year deal, but I mean, that's one of the key re-signings, isn't it? Straight away for me. So
I don't understand the 1-year deal for him. Like, at the end of the day, okay, he's getting a year old. He's probably 35 now, something like that. But he's just kicking the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still got the leg. He should be in a long-term deal. We're fucking around with 1-year deals with him. To be fair.
I know. It should have been for me. It should have been a longer deal as well. But
yeah, because he's no sign of dropping off. In fact, he's actually got, the stats will even look better than normal. Because obviously we use him a lot more. That's obviously a problem. But yeah.
So roster updates, mate. There's rumours of Jeff Driscoll and Ryan Tannehill coming in, but we'll get into that. The actual moves that we've made this week or in the last 24 hours. Sam Cosmi has gone to IR. With concussion, as a corresponding move, we signed Jeff Driscoll, quarterback from the Arizona practice squad. We claimed Jamal Agnew off waivers from Atlanta. He is a kick and punt returner, mainly punt returner. He's obviously an all-pro a few years ago at punt return, so that'll be interesting. And the reason for that is Jen Lane and Eddie Goldman have both gone to IR. Jen Lane with an ankle problem and Eddie Goldman with concussion. And then we've also claimed Shai Tutul, who is defensive tackle, off waivers from the Tennessee Titans. Now, I've heard a lot of fans here kicking off a little bit about this, saying, well, why aren't we promoting from within our own practice squad and calling people up who, we'd like to see on the practice squad? I don't have a problem with these moves. You've got 2 weeks left of the season, mate. It's if the other players in the practice squad were that good, or they were putting the work in, the coaching staff would have hopefully have seen them by now and would have elevated them. If you've not been elevated already by now in what is basically a lost season, best of luck to you being on the practice squad. And speaking of that, we were talking off air about practice squad. Sam Hartman. Let's talk about Sam Hartman. $257,000 just to sit around and be Jayden Daniels' mate, basically, because that's kind of where we are, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, if you're signing Jeff Driscoll, who does understand the system, was here last year with us, was in the off season as well this year, was done on cuts, and he's obviously been with Arizona. He can start on a short week in a pinch. Obviously, seen what Josh Johnson did last game. It's difficult, isn't it?
I mean, I'm a little bit confused, really, with this move, just purely because of what Cliff mentioned in his most recent presser, which was about, Jeff Driscoll, if he starts, or even Josh Johnson, it's these guys have taken live snap. These guys have got the experience to play on a short week. Well, not being funny. Sam Hartman's been here for 2 goddamn years. I mean, how long does he need? How long does he need to get ready for a game? Even if it's on a short week. Been for 2 years. He should know the system inside and out and everything else in between. So this is what really fucking pisses me off. It's like, what's the point in having the guy? Okay, yeah, from what we saw in preseason, yeah, he was horrible. Yes, okay, I get it.
The shoulder injury didn't help either.
But what's the worst that could happen if you start? What, he plays like shit and we get beat? Well, we're probably going to get beat anyway, being honest, last 2 games. So why not give him a shot? No, let's bring in the 38-year-old, or I don't even know how old Jeff Driscoll is. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. Stop using like one narrative for one thing and then using the same thing but against somebody else. It just blows my mind, to be honest with you. Cliff, man, does my head in.
Yeah, crazy. I don't understand it either. It is pretty much clipboard holder. Chief clipboard holder, Waterboy, Jayden Daniels, his mate.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Why we're not seeing Sam Hartman out there? Jeff Driscoll, on the other hand, as I said, knows the system, understands this team. It's I don't know. It's Josh Johnson or him.
He understands the team because he was here last year.
Yeah. So what I mean is he'll understand the system of what they're trying to play.
But Hartman's either 2 full years, and he's not ready to play.
I just think they don't rate. They can't rate him. As I said with the other one, it's like, what do you do?
Obviously, they don't rate him. It's obvious if they're bringing in Driscoll from another team's practice squad. You know, but
I love that. I love the bots. Do you guys ever think about kissing each other? Probably not, mate. I mean, I've known Scouse for a good 5 years now, and he's far too good looking for me. So yeah.
There's levels to this, mate. There's
levels. There is indeed. Oh dear. I mean, we'll talk through the injury report then, as we were. So looking at the injury report, we've got Nick Ballore, concussion, did not practice. Eddie Goldman, concussion, is out and obviously on IR. Javon Kinlaw was on rest. Jalen Lane, ankle injury, didn't practice and is now on IR. QB Marcus Mariota, right hand stroke quad, did not practice. Deron Payne, back, did not practice. Laramie Tunsil, oblique, did not practice. Bobby Wagner was on a rest. Jayden Daniels is on here with his left elbow, he was limited. And then in full, it was Brandon Coleman with a shin, George Fant with a knee, and Colson Yankoff was also full with an ankle injury. Obviously, other injuries I've wrote on here. Marcus needed stitches in his hand and also injured his quad on the same play. It was a cleat that hit his hand, it was swollen, and he was said to be day-to-day from DQ in his press conference. They've not considered playing Jayden Daniels, but they're considering calling on Sam Hartman or bringing another quarterback in if 8 can't go. Well, we know that's happened now because we brought in Jeff Driscoll. Cosme was in the concussion protocol and he's now on IR. Coleman, injured shin, hoped that we could turn it in the right direction, said DQ. Newton was cleared from concussion protocol. And then he said about Jalen Lane, it would be tough for this week, but as we know now, they have moved him to IR. And speaking of IR, I'm going to read this off here and then I'll let you speak, Scouse. I've been speaking too long here. How many IRs we have had this year? 14 on IR this year. Sam Cosme, obviously, in this week, concussion.
Does he count twice?
No, because he came off IR. So we brought him off IR because he was already on IR to start the season. I suppose technically he may count twice. Yeah. If you do count it twice because you started the season on IR, so maybe that'd be 15. Eddie Goldman, obviously we just talked about. Jalen Lane, we just talked about. Noah Brown was placed on last week. Zach Ertz,
he should have been on twice, to be fair. He should have been on twice.
Noah Brown.
Brown, yeah, he should have been. If not, if he hadn't.
Zach Ertz is on, Trey Amos is on, Marshall Lattimore, Luke McCaffrey, Dorrance Armstrong, Jean-Baptiste, Dietrich Wise, Austin Eckler, Lucas Niang, and Tyree Jackson. That's just a murderer's row of IR there, and you think to yourself, what is going on? You know what I mean? What are we actually doing here that we're putting this many people on IR? And it's no wonder that we've struggled. Injuries have been a real big problem this year, and I look at this and I do feel a bit sorry for AP and a little bit sorry for DQ as well. You know what I mean? So I'll let you take the mic there.
Yeah, there has to be. There has got to be some leeway due to these injuries. There does have to be. I just think, even with all these injuries, though, I don't think AP made a good squad. Being honest, I don't think he had a lot of high quality players that he could have brought in. I mean, we had the money. We could have spent better on better players. Now, again, like anything else, that guy could have got injured. You just don't know, do you? But it's one of them things for me. It's kind of, yeah, these are the cards you've been dealt with. How do you manage to win the hand? You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, well, what do you do about that? What you got to do is to at least make them fundamentally sound at the very least. Yeah. And I think a lot of us, I think a lot of our team hasn't been fundamentally sound. I think, especially with tackling, understanding the scheme itself, you can see this. We're getting, miscommunications on the back end regularly. It's like it's the basics, the fundamentals that has been letting us down for when new guys have come in. Now I get it; it takes time sometimes to become natural with that, but still, it's like you play football since you were 8 years old. You know the game. You know what you got to be doing. And you understand the scheme to a certain extent, because schemes are schemes. You play man, you play zone. You see what I mean? It's just different names for it. That's all it is. That's what you got to learn. And that does take time. I get it, because some of these plays are crazy names. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think the coaching staff have done a good job. I really don't. I really don't think they've done it. I mean, last year we were going, oh yeah, coaching staff are superb. Everyone seemed ready every single time. The next man up, and it really was next man up. We even though we didn't have too many injuries, but when he did, the guy who stepped in, that's to the business. This time around it hasn't been like that. Even the O-line, for example, the O-line's been reasonably healthy. It's probably been our best area really of injuries if you take out Cosme, and they're still not great because both our quarterbacks are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? Like both our quarterbacks are out injured and IR. Well, I think you should be on IR. Jaden, and the other guy's got a sliced up hand. So it's kind of it's just frustrating. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I completely understand where you're coming from. As a fan this year, it's been really difficult at times. Some really good points in the chat here. Deluxe says probably in the minority, but I think the Driscoll move makes sense and was expected. Yeah, I get that. I completely understand where you're coming from there, Deluxe.
It makes sense because, to be fair, last year when he played in preseason, he looked good. He was our best quarterback, to be fair. But the thing is, it's kind of like, this guy's in mid-30s. I understand it's only for a few games. It's not long-term. I understand that. But again, it's a case of you've got a younger guy there that's been in the system for 2 years. Why are you bringing in guys? Okay, you might be more experienced, and I've seen live ball, and Hartman hasn't. Well, just give the guy a go. We've got nothing to lose. If we lose, we get a higher draft pick. If we win, then Hartman looks great, and we go, whoa, maybe he could be the QB too. Do you see what I mean? Like you could technically go down that route. At the moment, all you've got is, let's go with the 38-year-old Josh Johnson who threw a pick in the second or third throw of the game last week, or Jeff Driscoll. Do you see what I mean? Like it's kind of I'd rather give the youngster a go rather than the old has-been veteran.
I don't disagree with you. Deluxe also said any plans there was undone by the quantity of injuries and how much they happened early in the season. Rod also says, does the amount of injuries reflect the lack of firsts playing in camp and joint practices and, of course, poor schemes and calls? Yes, it does, Rod, and I agree with you to a certain extent. I think that the Ravens killed us a little bit not having that joint practice session. I think they were very much expecting the joint practice session where you can tackle people who are outside of your own camp. I don't think holdings or people who were not practicing first teamers in camp had an issue there. That's the only part of the NFL that I find really odd. And you will understand this, and so will everybody this side of the pod, Ian, Rod, etc. In football, you play football, as in soccer, we call it. We call it football, but it's called soccer in America. When we're playing that and we're doing pre-season training, you're ramping up and you're ramping up and you're ramping up to get yourself fit to play in the game. You're not resting players. I can't possibly tackle me because I might get injured. I'm not suggesting that, and I understand the CBA covers the laws of what you can and can't do, and then you've got the NFLPA in there saying, well, you can't do this, and people are getting hurt. But look at the amount of people who are getting hurt, and we're not just talking late in the season. How many ACL tears have we seen this year? How many quarterbacks? Kansas City, 2 quarterbacks in 2 weeks. How many players are we seeing constantly injured because they're not taking hits, they're not taking reps, they're not taking the hits seriously? It's conditioning. That's exactly what it is. It's conditioning.
It's conditioning to be able to take the hits, and that includes the quarterbacks. As you said there, Kansas City lost both their quarterbacks with both an ACL tear in 2 weeks. Both of them went down 1 week and the other directly after. These guys, even though Mahomes is normally very durable, and even though he does play with injuries, he very rarely misses games, but they've been very lucky with that. Most teams have had their main quarterback go down on the regular.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's been hurt most of his career, to be honest. He plays. Burrow's always hurt, even though when he's fit, excellent.
Tua concussion protocol, as I call him.
Concussion Tua. Do you know what I mean? So this is the problem you've got with this, and obviously the quarterbacks are the most important player on the team. That's where they get paid most, where they got most responsibility, all the rest of it. Right? They're meant to be your best player, right? So I understand the point of, well, you've got to protect the merchandise. You've got to make sure you don't take the hits in pre-season or in training. But the problem is, because they're not conditioned to take it, as soon as they go into live games, they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And their body's getting shocked instantly. Every hit they taken, it hurt them more than say they would if they were conditioned early on in the preseason. So this is the problem you've got. Now I understand you want to protect players, but as you say, the number of injuries that's happening in the league over the last couple of years in live games in the main regular season and postseason, it's just going up and up and up. And it's not because of, you could say, maybe some poor tackling, because some are a bit dodgy, hip drop tackles, and there's always something crazy that goes on. But in the general meaning of it all, is that there is a lot of guys, especially quarterbacks, who are getting hurt. And these are the guys that you're paying to watch. At the end of the day, like, if you're coming to watch a Washington game, you want to come and see Jayden Daniels play. You want to see him fit, healthy. You want to see him play. Why? Because he's that damn good, right? Same with Drake May over at New England, or any quarterback, any team really, unless you've got a really shit quarterback. Most of them are like, I'm coming to watch that game because of that one player. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, let's be honest. If you're a Browns fan, you're there to watch Myles Garrett, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But if he wasn't playing, you'd be like, well, why have I bought a ticket? I get it exactly. Kyle, shout out to you. He says you boys have been on a milk carton in the Discord. Man, I'm terrible with the Discord. You know how bad I am with that. So if you don't know, the Burgundy Zone has a Discord chat. Go over and subscribe to the Burgundy Zone and to their Discord. Really good fun. A lot of banter in there. Deluxe and others are in there, so it's worth going across and seeing that. And thank you, and wish you and your family and the two Mikes and their family happy Christmas and New Year. Thanks for being here with us. We appreciate you. Yeah, man, it's difficult, this whole injury situation and where we are. But while we're here, don't forget to like and subscribe the pod. Thank you for everyone who's been with us so far. We'll get into it then, mate. I've got some stats and I've got other bits and pieces. Yeah, Deluxe, this is horrible season, injuries across the league, and horrible injury season. Washington got hit hardest. Don't disagree with you, mate. I really don't.
We did, and we didn't have a squad capable enough of handling
depth. Yeah.
Thing. That was the problem. Whereas other teams, like for example, even the Eagles, if they had our injury list, they probably could still be competitive. You know what I mean? Where we just haven't been. No, what I'd say in 80% of our games we haven't been competitive.
No,
so it's not good enough. You know what I mean? And it is frustrating, And big time. We need big time moves. We need an amazing off season. We really do, man. Like the moves AP and DQ make and all the rest. We need something special this off season if you want to do something.
We do. So we'll review then the 29-18 loss against the Eagles. Means we're 4-11, and the Eagles have won the NFC East at 10-5. I'm not going to go into the stats, but I have got some points here that we talked about. So first one is the young guys. Obviously, McGee flashed 30 snaps. Not enough when it's not enough snaps, but Wagner's out there getting 70 snaps a game. I mean, we need to see more from Jordan McGee. I was happy with his performance. Sinnott as a blocker looked really good, but we need to see more of him in the passing game. Johnny Newton got 30 snaps in this game. I didn't really notice him, to be honest with you, out there. We have to question again, is this the second round curse? You talked to me in the chat and said, is Phil Mathis Mark II? Maybe. Drake Jackson, he had a team high 3 pressures, but only 30 snaps, 22 of them as an edge rusher. Looked okay. It's his first game in 18 months, so well done for him.
Some bright spots with him, to be fair. So.
Burks had 45 snaps, flashed at times, was held, obviously, PI in the end zone, which we'll get into. Kane Medrano, my boy, he recovered a fumble, which Mike Esammer still punched out. So from the youngsters' side, I was quite impressed with them trying to say, you know what, let's try and bleed the youngsters in. But I don't think they've done it enough, to be honest with you, mate.
Especially when you've got nothing to play for right now. I understand if we were still in the chance to, even the remote possibility of getting in the playoffs. I understand playing your vets that you got available. I understand playing your Wagners. I understand playing these dudes. But once that's over, they should be sat. And I'm only saying that not because they're not good players. It's just a case of we need to see what McGee can do for a full game. We need to see these other guys, Medrano playing every snap. We need to see these guys, how consistent they are or how bad they are. And seeing it in small sample sizes is quite difficult to kind of really get your head around how good they actually are as players. So man. I would like to see more of the youth players playing more of the young. That's why I'd rather play Hartman, even though I know he'd be terrible.
I know.
I'd rather see him play. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is, man.
I think I've got 5 or 6 points on this game, but I mean, I'll briefly summarise what I've got here. So Elliott missing 3 field goals, awesome. Cheers. It's not just us that have got a kicker issue every week.
Nice.
The false start finally called on the tush push. Thank God. I just still think that referees are maybe in the wrong position when they're looking at this. I mean, maybe they need to be like bang on the side. Do you know what I mean? To be looking, saying where are we? Because they're just kind of guessing on that. Obviously, Marcus came out. We couldn't stop Barkley going north and south. Devontae Smith is an absolute beast, is what I put down. And then I thought we were competitive until Marcus got injured. Up to half time, it was like, you know what, this is a decent game. I mean, I said to you, this is a decent game. And you were like, there's still time yet. And more for me. I looked at it and thought, you know what, this wasn't too bad. I think the players, they played with desire and they did play with physicality. They are still playing for Dan Quinn, which is why I don't think that he's on this hot seat or he's going to get fired. You know what I mean? That's if they came out there completely flat and didn't want to know, and they're already on a beach in Cancun like the Raiders are at the minute, you'd say, okay, there's a problem there. But it's clear and evident that he hasn't lost the locker room, which is what you want to see. What else have I said? I said we've got to overhaul our entire tackling process. At the end of the game, we just missed shitloads of tackles. It was diabolical. I also thought that this Eagles team's kind of a shadow of its former self. I thought they were horrible, being honest with you. I didn't think they were good in any way, shape or form. They just beat a poor Washington side with running our third string QB. That is not a Super Bowl winning team. When I look at the likes of the Rams and I look at the Seahawks and even the Jags, you know what I mean, and the Broncos. I look at them teams and think they are far better than the Eagles. I'd even say the 49ers are looking better than the Eagles right now.
I think what you've got with, we know this term from, for the American fans, soccer. good teams find a way to win when they're not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always find a way to win no matter what, and that's what the Eagles do. I say, they're not blowing teams out anymore. They're not like, oh my god, they look so superior, but they're good enough to play at 70%, 80% and still win. That's the difference. Like what they do, what I've noticed most of the season is that they just grind you down until the fourth, and then that's when they take over, and that's exactly what they did to us.
They did, yeah.
Because we held our own. We held our own up until the half time until we got virtually no offense after Marcus went down.
Yeah.
But until then, I'd say, but we were in the game. It was family business. It was tight. It was always going to, and that's how it always is. In NFC East, always like that until you get to a certain point. And normally it's because the Eagles are basically just ground you down. You're fatigued. Your defenses are breathing heavy, and missed tackles happen. Look what happened to us. Our defense couldn't tackle for shit in the fourth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it works in their favor. That's how they've been winning a lot of their games. That's without being spectacular. And they did the same thing to us, just ground us down.
Shout out to Roddy, says, yeah, I agree, Scouse. How can this staff properly evaluate these young players for next year if we don't see them play? Yeah, don't disagree with you.
I've got probably like that,
I've got three coaching points I want to bring up that from this game, which I found very strange. First one is Cliff has a problem running inside the 5-yard line. This has happened all season long.
He just hates to run the ball.
I just don't know what he's doing. So the opening kickoff, we recover a kick. It's like, holy shit, we've got a fumble, we've recovered a kick. What a great start. We get right down there to the 5-yard line, and the first thing is run. It doesn't happen, then it's pass, field goal. At that point, you need 7 points. So if you go for it there and you fail, I'm comfortable with that. I'm quite happy with that. But Cliff, come on, man. Stop trying to outdo yourself. I don't know whether it's an intrinsic thing that he has in his head that I've got to outsmart you. Don't get in your bag. Run the ball.
But then weirdly, he messes up a lot.
But then weirdly, in the red zone, statistically, we're one of the better sides, which I just... In my mind, I just look and think, how many times have we butchered 7 points lately where we've been on the 1 or 2 yard line? The second thing, why is DQ not going for it there when you've got nothing to lose on that? You've got nothing to lose. You're down 11 points. You're at the 44-yard line and you punt the ball away. What? Why? What are you doing with 6 minutes left? And then the other stupid thing from DQ that I thought, what have you done this for, was why are you challenging a play that's already been reviewed? What was that about? I mean, I understand. And he was saying, oh, well, I thought the legs were down. I heard it in the press conference. And I was like, nah, mate, you're just clutching at straws here. You lost a timeout on purpose because of that reason. Stupidity.
Someone told me.
Yeah, they have. Someone has. Yeah, someone has.
So someone needs to get a bollocking for that one, whoever that was, because that made DQ look real stupid.
It did. Deluxe has brought up a point to Rod's kind of counterpoint. Rod's point earlier. He says evaluation of others is a big part of why Driscoll would play over Hartman. It's not a knock on Hartman, though. At this point on his career, I get that. It's the upside of Hartman, Deluxe, that they're trying to look for. Oh, he's a young quarterback. He's done well at Notre Dame in college. There's a potential there. But dude, he's had 2 years here now. He's Jaden Daniels' mate. He's a good character. He's a great clipboard holder. He can probably make a great macchiato. But fucking hell, man. I mean, 250... Exactly. $250,000 or whatever it is to play on a practice squad and run scout team all day. Give me that job any day of the week.
Because that's the thing about scout team, isn't it? Because they tell you exactly what plays they're going to do and what you've got to do, and what you've got to do and what looks you've got to give. So it's not like they're learning how you play. You're just being an Autobot for what Cliff wants on that scouting play.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't evaluate Hartman on that. Do you know what I mean? You can't evaluate that. You can't do that. Yeah.
He looked terrible in pre-season, but I mean...
He wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, he was, but I'd rather go with the youngster rather than the old hat. I understand what he's saying there. You get more of an experienced quarterback in. You might be able to see a bit more quality for maybe these fringe guys, maybe like out receivers or tight ends or whatever, because Driscoll's in the game rather than Hartman. But it's still like does it really matter now at this point? It doesn't really matter. I'd rather see the youngsters and see what they've got.
Yeah, I mean, he put, like saying here, he punted because he has more faith in his defence than Johnson. Johnson's more of the reason why Driscoll was signed. Don't disagree with you at all. I think Driscoll's going to start this game against the Cowboys, which we'll get into in a minute.
They're talking about short weeks. They're talking about short weeks because that was what Cliff's big thing was. Oh, yeah, you could play on a short week, Mate, you've got a guy there who's been here for 2 years, and you're saying this guy's not ready to play on a short week. So you're going hire fucking the Driscoll. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, no. It's bollocks,
the standouts for me in this game. Jacob Martin now has a career 5.5 sacks. He got a strip sack. Yeah, he needs to be re-signed. He needs to be re-signed, definitely. I think we need to put more faith in C-Rod. You know, he's RB1 at the minute, but I know it's by committee, but you know, maybe we upgrade the running back room in the off-season. We'll get into that, I'm sure, but
I think we have to.
It's time we just said to C-Rod, it's your train set, go and run with it, mate, because you know,
kind of been like that since the last few weeks, to be fair.
It has been, but you got to think You've got to think here, Scouse. He's been cut. He's been practice squad. He's been fucking, waived. He's been signed back again. There's clearly something there, and they obviously want him to be a certain type or a certain body type composition. This is how I want you to do. And he's gone away and he's took them knocks and come back in and gone, well, I'll prove to you how good I can be. And I think he's got a career, definitely got a career in this league, even if it is as a second string running back. But at the moment, he should be first taking the carries because Bill, although we love Bill, and he has got that jump cut, I just think Bill's maybe a little bit slight. Maybe needs to put on a little bit more weight in the off-season. Maybe needs to just understand the game a bit. And his blocking technique isn't good enough as well.
That needs to get better. If he wants to play more downs, he needs to be better in pass pro. 100%.
That's right. 100%.
Because he's like... And the thing is with C-Rod, I mean, I would always start off with the bruising back anyway. Try and wear down the defensive line. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Wear them down, and then you bring in the speedster or the slight guy who's got a bit more movement to him, And then this is what technically we've been doing more recently, the last couple of weeks. There's been a little bit more of that, and that's why Krosky has been actually doing quite well, really, in the snaps that he has been getting. It works better that way.
So Burks is a must re-sign for me now, even if it's wide receiver 4/5. I think he's got something there.
At this moment, mate. At this moment, I mean, if Debo doesn't get re-signed, he's wide receiver 2. Being honest with you, and then unless we do something in the off-season, he's wide receiver 2. Yeah.
B-Wags, I thought B-Wags had his best game of the season for us, believe it or not. I thought he's very good. Even in coverage, he was all right. Maybe he's pulled one out of the bag. Maybe he's he's had a double dose of Red Bull before he started. I don't know, but he was all right. He played really well. Mikey, this is the one that baffles me. He had a good game, but he got burnt by Devontae Smith. I get it. Corners are gonna get burnt. It's part and parcel of it. Punched the ball out for a fumble.
He got no pass rush.
he matched up with AJ Brown. He blanketed him on a 3rd and 5.
Brown wasn't a big factor.
He was good tackling. He had some big hits. His size costs him on the outside, but is that better than him being in the slot? I mean, I'm confused what to do with him now. What? I mean, I love the guy. I think he's a really good pick, especially from last year. We were like, wow, we've got something.
The guy is the only guy who creates turnovers.
Yeah.
He's always the one who knocks the balls out. He's the one who catches the interceptions. When we do get an interception, it tends to be him. It's kind of like, he's the only guy who does that for us, really. So you have to get him in the starting lineup, wherever you put him. You've got to find a space for him. We've all got the arguments. Your last season he was outstanding on the outside, but then this year he struggled. His height got abused a little bit, yes. That's why we know he's a slot corner, but they didn't play that well when he played slot. So we understand. So that's why I understand where you're coming from. It's like, where the hell do you go with this? But for me, it's a kind of like, well, if I'm looking at it, I'm seeing him more at this moment as an outside corner because he makes. Yes, he might get burnt like once in a while, like you mentioned, but he will create play for you. He will create a turnover at some point for you, and that's why Dallas allow people like Trayvon Diggs to keep playing. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what he does. He's either 50-50 merchant. He either gets burnt big time or he gets interception. Like that's what Diggs does. So Mikey could be our version of that, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay, you got to take the rough with the smooth, but at least you're going to get some turnovers. Which on our defense we don't create a lot of turnovers.
We're not. We haven't been at the minute. Rod says if we keep Burks,
we're very good at it.
He said if we keep Burks and bring in a wide receiver and keep Debo, what happens to Luke? Luke and Jalen Lane just become part of the rotation. They become go down the depth chart if that's the case, unfortunately, especially if you're picking a wide receiver quite high up in the draft or you're signing someone like Brandon Ayuk. But after this week, it's tough. He's just an absolute nutcase. I'm not sure what we do there with that. 2 other points off this game I want to get into, if that's all right with you. First off, referees. Holy shit bags, what is going on with these referees? I mean, I've got 5 different points here. The Coleman penalised for holding. Where he's doing the pushing down. Total and utter bullshit. The Burks no PI call from
Ridiculous
Cooper DeJean. Then Noah I is penalised for doing nothing in the end zone. It's like, hang on, what? Tyler Owens lined up offside when he wasn't offside on a field goal attempt. But luckily, it was missed anyway, so it didn't really matter. And then the one that was most egregious in the whole game was the ref not being lined up on the onside kick at the end of the game. That was fucking recovered. We recovered an onside kick. You have an 8% chance of doing that. Oh, sorry, the ref wasn't in the right position.
He gives a
fucking do me a favour. What are we doing here? Honestly, this is beyond a joke now. I mean, they have to get these guys professionalised. Now, I understand that some of them are lawyers, some of them are doctors, they've got their own careers to deal with, blah, 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 and they do it part-time. Getting professional referees now.
If they don't want to be...
It's a beyond time.
And there's the door. We'll get some young... Again, let's train up some new guys. Let's get some guys from the CFL and teach them. And then they'll be the NFL guys. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be done. It has to be done. I know this is a big thing normally for... he's in our group chat regularly. He talks about all the time, next DB. All right.
Paul?
Come on, name this, sorry, man. Yeah. Paul goes on about it all the time. Referees should be professional. But because they're not, that they can let these bullshit calls just happen regularly, and then they're kind of trying to rig the game in that respect. They're trying to make it harder for your team to lose if the NFL don't want you to win that game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, referees they've got more freedom to make more mistakes. If that makes sense. And it's kind of a weird one. Whereas if they're professional, you've got to really professionalize it, and they've really got to be on the ball, you know what I mean? And it's a bit different then. And it's not, and that's the reason why they won't do it. Because why else wouldn't, as the NFL themselves, why else would you not want professional referees when these guys are getting paid $50 million a year, some of these dudes, and you can't afford to put the referees to be professional, make it their full-time jobs. Come on, bro. It makes probably $1 trillion a year now, the NFL. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, it's the only thing that's ridiculous. The players are professional,
especially when you look at every other sport where referees, umpires, coaches, whatever you want to call people, they're professional people. They're governed by a body. They have a union, whatever it may be. They're all the same. They're all like that. Every rugby referee, every football referee, every cricket umpire, I don't know, they're all professional people. Boxing referees, tennis umpires, they're all professional people. That is their job.
Yeah, that's their
so why is the NFL so behind in this regard to every other sport?
And it's the only sport that is. I mean, tell me otherwise. But I think most other American sports, the referees are professionals.
I'm not sure.
Jobs. I'm not 100% on that, but again, I'm surmising that they are. So it's kind of like, why is the NFL like the lowest or the last team or the last sporting division to actually do this? It's weird, man. I don't get it.
It's a madness. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was the fight at the end of the game. DQ said if that's the way they want to get down, then so be it. Obviously, Kinlaw and Quan were disqualified from the game and ejected, as was Steen from the Eagles. Mikey Samra still standing tall against the defensive lineman, giving it big swings. Wasn't caught out. What are your thoughts on the fight? I mean, it's not the way that I want to see the team doing it. Do I think it's a shitty excuse because they went for 2, and that's the reason why, and it's Philly being Philly? That I think that's what has come out since.
That's the main reason, yeah.
It's an unwritten rule, isn't it, that you don't go for 2 if you're that far ahead on the scoreboard.
You're taking a piss, yeah. You know what I mean? That's what they think. That, players take offence to that. It's like, oh, you already beaten us up, and now you're taking a piss by going 2 for 2. Yeah, I mean, it's
not the done thing, is it?
No, I mean, and I'd say that's just a Philly disrespect thing. That's what Philly do. You know what I mean? Like, not many teams would do that, but I know that they would do it. If they had the opportunity to do it, they would, and they did. And I mean, I get it. Our players are frustrated anyway because they're getting beaten up. When it came to that point in the game, and then all of a sudden you get them taking the piss like that. I understand the kind of it overflowing a little bit. But the thing is, say you've got to channel that in a more positive way. You know what I mean? Like of course, I mean, to be fair, I actually like seeing stuff like that to a certain extent because it shows that they actually do care. You know what I mean? You don't like being embarrassed on telly. You don't want to be embarrassed, in front of their friends and family and all the rest of it. And I don't mind seeing some fight like that when that happens. But it's kind of a case of you've got to channel it better in the game itself. Hit somebody that little bit harder if you're pissed off with them. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like, see what I mean?
Get at the bottom of a scrum. Have a little dig if you can. You know what I mean? At the back end of a tackle, whatever it is. Yeah.
Do something a little bit like on the sly. You know what I mean? A little bit more naughtier. But again, might get away with not getting a penalty against you or ejected. Whereas obviously these guys are getting ejected, and that doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't. And fines are inbound for that as well. Just a quick one. Speaking of fines and suspensions, I'm going to go off the Commanders now, but I'm sure you've seen it. The DK Metcalf Lions fan hitting a fan, obviously pulling the hair, and then he almost swung punch for him. I mean, I've heard varying degrees of what has come from this. So some are saying that the person was being racially abusive, which is absolutely wrong. There's no need for that, no room for that in any walk of society, irrespective of what's gone on. If that wasn't the case, and it is as the person who was assaulted has said that he was calling him by his full government name, for want of a better term, it is madness. I mean, he's been suspended for 2 games. He's been fined $555,000, but he's voided $40 million off his contract. Have you heard this bit?
Yeah. It's guarantees, wasn't it? It's part of his guarantees.
Yeah, so I'm reading it now. So 2 game suspension doesn't just cost him $555,000 in lost game checks, $40 million in future guarantees because the suspension falls under conduct detrimental. And it wipes out guarantees from the NFL suspension that includes a fully guaranteed $25 million salary for 2026 and injury protections which are titled 2027, which are worth $20 million. So that's $45 million. He can still earn every dollar of that if he plays, but the security is gone. I mean, that is a serious mistake. Then you got to think of what comes from that. If this person who was assaulted then says, "I'm gonna, put a civil lawsuit against him," then he's got a civil lawsuit. Then he's got a civil lawsuit against the Lions as well for not protecting him.
His statement came out. His statement.
I saw that.
From the lawyer saying I did not say anything about racial stuff. So he's already denying it with a lawyer. So it's like, well, okay, so he's already got a lawyer involved.
I think there's potentially four lawsuits there he can file. One against the protection from the Lions, saying that he wasn't protected enough, even if he's shouting from the stands, which we've seen this in soccer or football from our side. Eric Cantona's Kung Fu Kick springs to mind. We've had players going into the stands.
What ban did he get?
A year.
Exactly, he got banned for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Not just 2 games.
He got a year, and yeah.
So this is for me. The NFL should have really clamped down on him because obviously he's getting more punished from his contract scenario rather than actually from the NFL. So for me, crazy. The NFL could go, no. You can't put your hands on a fan. You can't fucking uppercut a guy in the face. You know what I mean?
I know. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You know, he leant over to speak to him, and he uppercutted him as he could, punched him in the face. You can't do shit like that and only get a 2-game ban. Whereas, you know, a hip drop tackle, you can get a 1-game suspension. You see what I mean? It's kind of like
Jamar Chase spits in someone's face and goes,
exactly,
you know.
Yeah, exactly. When it's that, exactly. Yeah, the spitting, you got 1-game suspension. You know, Amon St. Brown and stuff like that. It's like, come on, bro. It's like this guy should be banned for like 8 games minimum.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Minimum. I agree. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a low, ball suspension.
You don't scream at players like, you know, giving it shit from the sideline, but fans will do that
because especially when beers are flowing.
Oh, I know.
Most of the day, you see fights in the stand all the time. We've mentioned this before, about like home and away ends and all that crap between fans. But when you're looking at that was a home fan against the away player. Yeah. That player walked across to the back of the end zone to do that.
Well, it's behind the blue medical tent. It wasn't behind. It was on his sideline.
On the goals. I thought it was
No. You could see the blue medical tent. So he's gone behind the blue medical tent, and then walked over to the side, and then uppercutted him. But even so, terrible look for DK Metcalf, and this has cost him in more ways than one.
To be fair, he might be like a Boy Scout next season. He might get all the money.
He might do.
So it's not the end of the world for him. He's just got to behave himself. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So he's not going to get that money back. But the only true pain that he's going to receive really is this actual 2-game suspension, which, you know, Pittsburgh are trying to fight for the playoffs still, aren't they? Still in there.
They're very close. They're very close. Yeah, they're doing well.
So he's hurt the team big time there, but a 2-game thing, that's nothing. He should be banned for the rest of this season. Even if they make it to the playoffs, he should be banned from that as well. You know, like, you should be banned. Like, the whole season.
Don't disagree with you.
Minimum.
Jesse says, bollocks, when the F did you lot announce you were going today? Yeah, sorry, mate. Thank you for being with us, mate. We appreciate you, even though it's late and you've just probably seen it on your phone. Appreciate you. And we'll get into the Cowboys preview. Second in the NFC East, 6-8-1. Dak Prescott, 4,175 yards. Jonathan Williams, 1,147. George Pickens, 1,342. 77 tackles from Kenneth Murray and 2 interceptions from Devonian Wilson. Looking at their schedule, obviously coming off 3 losses. Lost to the Lions, 44-30. The Vikings, 34-26. And then the Chargers last week, 34-17. So yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Not an ideal situation for them. Where obviously they're coming to town on Christmas Day. I don't know if Jesse you're going. You were going to take your mum, but if you are, good luck. Enjoy Christmas. Enjoy it for the fans to even just be seeing football on Christmas Day, which is awesome. Let's be fair here. We're not going to win this game, mate. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter what quarterback we're trotting out, unless it was Jaden Daniels with a full strength side and he was fully healthy. And he's fully healthy. We ain't winning this game.
Nope.
We're
just not going to do it. You know, we're missing out on a few other guys gone to IR. You know what I mean as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so Wiley is likely to come in. I did hear them talk about that. They said your favourite offensive lineman. They said. He said, "Oh yeah, we're looking at going with Andrew, so that means Algretti Spaghetti, or what do you call him, Al Shitty? He's the next one up. So it'll be interesting.
Stay on the bench.
Be interesting to see what happens there. Do you give us? We've got a chance to win this game. Every NFL team has a chance on their day to win the game. Yeah, with Jeff Driscoll, or Josh Johnson,
it's just slim, mate.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
If you haven't got a quarterback, you've got to be able to run the ball properly. And okay, we've been a little bit better with that.
Maybe, yeah.
However, we're not gashing teams like what you have to do if you've got no quarterback who can't throw the ball. You know what I mean? Without being inaccurate. You know, really inaccurate. Like, which is what everyone goes on about Johnson. Oh yeah, you know, he knows the league. Mate. Fucking awful, man. Like, I mean, you seen in the game. I think it was the second or third throw.
You've had 26 teams. You've had 26 teams for a reason, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He's smart up here, but can't produce it on the field. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
and that's probably the case. That's probably the case. Probably being a really good teammate, someone who can diagnose playbooks and all that.
Yeah, so he's probably a great backup or a great third stringer to like help your quarterbacks learn stuff, break down other teams' schemes or whatever. Yeah, great, but get him on the field. Hell no, stay the hell off my field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, man.
And this is the thing. It's kind of like who've we got? Like,
what do you
want to get you more than 200 yards? No.
What do you do? What would you do? Obviously, yeah, we've got to win. I always want to beat Dallas.
Oh, we always want to win.
When it's Dallas week.
Do you think we can?
No. I think we can. Yes, I think we can. But I think we can like Jake Paul could have beat Anthony Joshua.
Well, the 1% chance. You mean that?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's tough. It's tough, man.
Unless the refs actually just give us every single call, every single time.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, got no chance otherwise. I mean,
well, maybe if we have 13 players out there, who knows?
Yeah, and not get called for it. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, man. It's gonna be. They are still very strong on offense. Like the players are available. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Lamb, Pickens, Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean they've got a powerhouse offense, you know, and our defense is banged up, and it's not very good anyway, even if it was full strength. So
Jesse says, not only can we win, we will win by 15. And then Rod also says, I'm not watching it to see the Cowgirls beat her, because it would ruin my Christmas day. Yeah,
it's painful. It can be painful, but at the end of the day, as 6 o'clock comes, let's face it, everyone's had their Christmas lunch. I mean, you're booting family at your house, aren't you? Let's face it.
Yeah, of course. So
around that time, it's perfect time to settle down with a beer and watch the game and see us get hammered. But whatever.
That's it.
But no, at least this is a game on.
I know what you're saying.
That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, we're not going to do well. I mean, it'll be like the Eagles game a little bit. I think at the start it'll be a little bit even. It'll be kind of competitive. Maybe like kind of first quarter and a half, and then it'll just go Pete Tong. That's what'll happen. We'll get blunt. We'll get smoked. By at least.
Yeah, I don't see much out of this. I'll be honest with you. I know we're not fake. It's not a fake fan alert. We are fans, but we've just got to try and be a bit more realistic here. I don't see us winning this game. I really don't. We'll get into our fan questions then to finish this off. Richard Cameron, he is at Mr. Rich Cameron. Great guy. Met him obviously at the London game between the Jags and the Rams, so decent bloke. Thank you for always putting questions in. We appreciate you. He says, if you were the GM, what's better for us? Beating Dallas or losing and locking in a higher draft spot? Now, for me, I never want to talk about draft right now. Till the season finishes, I ain't interested in where we are. Yes, it's great to have a top 5 pick or whatever else, but you got to win. The players are out there to try and win. What we're saying is we've got to be realistic to say on any given Sunday, anybody could beat anybody in the NFL. We know that. They're going to try to win. DQ's job, we said it's not on the line. We don't think he's there. The players are still playing for him, which is what will happen. But I just think that this Dallas team is better currently than we are with a 3rd, 4th string quarterback and being beat up to shit, which we have been all season.
Yeah, I agree. But if you actually want me to answer the question, if I'm Adam Peters, I'm a higher draft pick. End of story. Because yeah, of course, the competitive juices of players, they're going to want to win. Okay, yeah, great. If you win, fantastic. You get your win bonus, all the rest of it. Yeah, but for if I'm Peters, I'm thinking I want a higher draft pick because at the end of the day, we need more draft picks. We need to build a roster. So the higher the draft pick we can get, the more we can probably get when we trade down, because I think we're going to trade down,
I do too. I do too, yeah.
Because we don't need the quarterback. It isn't the quarterback that, like, normally teams come up or you stay in the top 5 normally for a quarterback. That's what you tend to do usually. Unless there's an unbelievable player there that is generational but truly is not like the Chase Young problem, you know what I mean? But in general,
Reese.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But again, no, I don't. I think that's too high a top 5 pick. But I've not done enough draft research yet from the college balls really to find really.
I mean, it's tough because I look at this and think, what with one way, yes, I want a top 5 pick. Of course you do, because you can regain your picks that you lost for the trades in this off season, which is what you want. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I just want to win, man. Every fan just wants to win, and especially when it's Dallas week, You got to just try your best and beat Dallas. Wow, James is in New Zealand at the moment. He said, "I'm lucky. I missed the last few games. I mean, fair play to you. Enjoy it down there. Make sure you eat lots of Tim Tams, mate. They are class. I love a Tim Tam. So yeah, it's basically like a cross between a Twix and a Kit Kat for those who are this side of the pond. Superb.
Twix. Anyway, I bet you the youngsters know what Twix is.
Yeah, they will know what a Twix is. You get Twixes in the US, but it's they're not exact. Yeah, they're not exactly the same. But yeah, it's a cross between a Kit Kat and a Twix, which is awesome. Yam has put a question in for us. He is Yam Sensei at Yam Starch on X. He said, "Why should I watch these last two games, and who should I watch out for?"
Wow. Well. As I'd say, I want to see the youngsters play. So I want to see those guys get more game time. I want to see what McGee can do for a full game. I want to see what Ben Sinnott can do, as in like in the past game. We've seen he's definitely got a lot better in his blocking over the last year because last season he was god awful at blocking. At least now he's actually pretty good at blocking. Like, he can actually hold his own. Now we need to see what he's like in the past game. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing that. I want to see if can he get separation? You know what I mean? I want to see the foundations from the tight end. Because let's face it, Driscoll or Johnson's probably not going to find him. You know what I mean? Because he's god awful, let's face it. So what are we going to do? So I just want to see. I want to see if these guys can actually get separation. Can they beat their man consistently? And then I'm good. You know what I mean? I want to see stuff like that. And that's all matchups, not just them, but in general. You know.
There's a few that I want to see. I want to see Hamilton Senior. I want to see how he plays at corner, what he's doing out there. I don't care if he's got a bit of juice. Is he worth a contract next season? Even if it's practice squad, and you bring him up.
These 2 games, and then you've wasted.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Then you go, oh, who have I got? You've got to see what you've got as depth. That's all I'm saying. Johnny Newton has to step up for me. He is the Phil Mathers Mark II at the minute for me. He's really pissing me off. I don't know what this second round curse we have is all about, but no one's stepping up. And he doesn't.
That's on AP and the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. That's fake. I know. We'll sign a player who should be a first round pick, but he's got Lisfranc injury in both feet. Okay.
Yeah. And takes him 6 months to get back, and he's nowhere near that player. It's like, I'm sure we'll have an EP an EP conversation.
We will, because he's been Burks. Yeah, I want to see Burks. This is interesting from what Deluxe says here. I mean, it says interesting fact: Washington's top 3 emergency QBs were hurt too in the game. So McCaffrey, Yankoff, and Lane. If McNichols had gone in, would have gone in. If Johnson was hurt, he's 8th on the depth chart. I think at 9, I think it's you, Scouse, and then Deluxe is at 10. So, do you know what I mean? Nicky Javala's at 11. Then I think it's John Keim is 12. Just so we're aware. I mean, fucking hell. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. The last question then we've got from today is Rod. He's given us a bit of a Rod's rant, shall we say. He said, given what's gone on this season, I'm pretty proud of the team. Because the depth he's trying to show out the depth. But he said, but what's clear is the broom is brushing the floor already, and it's trying to make a clean sweep on everything from the team, the front office. We can see who the players are that will be gone, and we can see who will stay. So in your opinion, who goes and who stays? Now, I'm not saying let's just go through the entire roster and be like, yeah, you go, you're staying. But at the moment, starters-wise and where we are right now from the depth chart, who would you say are the big cuts that we're going to lose, and who are the big ones that would probably stay? I mean, Daron Payne. I'm not paying Daron Payne 26 million a year. Nope, not for me.
So it's either restructure or you trade or cut, aren't you? That's what you're doing.
Well, if you cut him, if you cut him next season, you're finding yourself 16 million in salary cap.
Yeah, I mean that
makes sense. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? But it's a tough one, man.
Lattimore gone, has to be.
To be fair, it all depends. To be fair, that all depends on what we do in the off season.
True.
Do we trade for a corner? Do we get one in free that's really good? Do we draft one? Because if we don't do any of that, he's got to come back. He's got no numbers. Do you know what I mean? And the guy's coming off a torn ACL. He's going to be god or even worse than what he was this year. Sorry.
True.
You know, it's going to be an awful decision, but potentially he could come back. You know, so these are the problems you've got there with that.
Not on 22 million.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a restructure if you come back. Like, but I'm just saying, you know, don't close the door completely on him coming back just because we don't know what we've got or what we're going to be doing, because we don't have a lot of corners.
That's true
at all. You know, so. But we've also mentioned this before about kind of, you know, how much talent we've got on this team, offense or defense. We don't have a lot. There's not a lot of guys that other teams will go, you know what, I really want to get that guy. I really want to trade for him. Like, there's not many of those dudes. Maybe 5 or 6 in the whole team of 53. You know, it's not. So it's kind of like I think it's very easy. You can cut anybody really besides maybe 6 guys. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. It could be as simple as that. If you really wanted to clean house, you could do it all like that. Bobby Wagner's gone. I know that for sure.
Yeah, Zach Ertz most likely retired.
Yeah, probably retire. Yeah, so he'll be gone. So the starters, they're gone. Louvu's on his last year of his deal, so you don't know what you're going to do with Louvu. And he's not been very good this year, being honest.
True.
Who else have we got? Who's a true mainstream starter? Who's think, oh my God, you know,
Terry.
You got to keep him. Well, Terry, yeah, well, he's going to be around. He's not going to cut him or trade him because it'll hurt us a lot on the cap. So
yeah,
I can't see us losing Terry. Obviously, Jaden's going to be around.
Wow, seriously, Jesse? I didn't know that. That's a bit of breaking news there. He says Agnew's failed the physical.
Well, so we got no punt returner for this week. Even worse for us. So, yeah. Awesome. So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, a couple of the rookies. Obviously, the rookies are going to be there. I don't think we're going to cut any of the rookies that we got from this year or last. No. I can't see us doing that. They'll still be around. But from the running backs, you know, you could keep all of them or you could get rid of all of them. Like, literally, it is 50-50 for me on all those running backs. I mean, you probably keep Jacory Merritt because he has got upside and he was a 7th rounder, so he's not going to hurt you too much. So you're probably going to keep him. But all the other guys are probably, even though they're useful, like the Nichols can be useful at times and Seaward, they could still easily be cut or let go because their contracts are up as well. So it's so hard to kind of truly predict at this moment because maybe we could go all out or we could try and keep most of them. It just depends what he's going to do. And it really is a 50-50 call at this moment.
It says keep Payne on the last year, don't comp or cut him. And then obviously Deluxe has also said they can easily keep Payne. Why open a hole when you have plenty of money to spend? You have to spend it somewhere. I get that. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not. I think you can better upgrade on Daron Payne than spend $25 million.
I mean,
that's just my opinion. I think normally Daron Payne balls out in a contract year. We haven't seen it this year. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's solid.
Probably been our best D tackle anyway this year.
Yeah, of course he has.
And Kinlaw been pretty solid, I think. You know, Kinlaw against the run, but again, obviously in pass, probably not much going on. But in general, yeah, I mean, I would try and keep Payne if the numbers were right. If you could restructure like deluxe pensions, I'd be interested in an extension of some sort, but a lot lower number. Then I'd be happy with that. But I don't know what he would do because he's still kind of in his prime. His prime age. So he's about 28, I think, something like that. So it's kind of a case of I wouldn't cut him, but I'd definitely look for trading him or let him walk because I think deluxe pensions there compensation. You wouldn't get any comp picks if you cut him. So it's kind of I mean, I've got the money, so we could technically still eat that 25 mil or whatever it is this year coming up. I wouldn't want to lose him, but again, I understand if we did. I wouldn't be like, nah, you know, I wouldn't be totally devastated if he left, but I would be like, who are you going to replace him with? That'd be my first question. And it better not be fucking.
That's it.
Golden. It better not be Golden. Do you see what I mean? So it better be somebody who's actually can do the job. You know what I mean? But if that's the case.
I mean, that's interesting, Deluxe. Putting me back in my place, and so you should as well when I'm talking absolute bullshit. Call me out. He said, Cosme, Coleman, Mikey are all second rounders. Can the curse talk go away? Drafts aren't guaranteed. Yeah, I know that, and they're all mainstays. Cosme, yeah, we hit on that. You got to give him his due there and say, yeah, we hit on that. Coleman,
but don't forget that wasn't AP.
No, but he's talking about second rounders now.
I'm talking about AP now. I'm not talking about previous, even though they were shocking. Martin Mayhem and all them fools. You know, like they were got off for drafting. I think Cosby was literally probably their best. Him and Terry are probably their best ever picks. Being honest, it's a joke. Let's face it. So, it's kind of a case of AP shocking. He really has. Like most of his drafts.
Payne, Allen, Montez Sweat. Trying to think of who else. I mean, if you look back at Ron's picks, we're not even going to go.
Montez Sweat again, another good player. Could do the job for us, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
But they want to pay him the 20 odd mil. All right, fine. Chase Young, disaster. Okay, that wasn't Ron's fault. That was a case of that was my first year. Yeah, he was a generational talent, and he lived up to that in the first season. He did until he got it.
Doing well at New Orleans now.
Yeah, but it took him 4 years to get back to that. I mean, bad injuries can take that long, and that's if teams give you a chance still, which Chase Young was lucky to get. And there's still a chance of that. But a lot of dudes don't get that opportunity to play 4 years at a poor level to then come back up. So Joe Chase was one of the lucky ones in that respect, and even then, he's still not the generational guy.
No, he's not.
True.
He's not a TJ Watt or a Myles Garrett or
you know what I mean? So it's kind of that obviously that's all the one stuff. But AP's not been good with his draft. You say He's had 2 drafts now, hasn't he? AP.
Yeah, this is his second draft. Yeah.
So he's the one coming up now is his second draft.
No, this is his third.
Okay, so who's
Jaden Daniels. Yeah, well, that was the first draft.
But you mean you ain't going to miss on that or Drake May because they were going to be the 2 that were going to fall to you at number 2. So
absolutely,
you're never going to blow that one. You're going to go right with one of those 2. You're going to be fine. You know what I mean? So that's a layup. All right. So what's next? Who's
Connolly
in Jaden's league? Was it Connolly?
We had 3. We had Sinnott. We had Mikey.
Last year's?
No.
Oh, it's right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Because it was Connolly. It was Connolly last year at Green Bay, mate.
Connolly was the first. Yeah, so Connolly was obviously the first rounder.
Yeah, and then we didn't have much after that because of obviously trades.
Yeah.
So it was then Trey Amos in the second round.
So Amos is solid. I like Amos.
He's solid. Yeah.
So okay, so he was good. So the years before it was Sam Rustrill. Okay, again, you think that was a lock? That was a lock the first season. The second year's been a bit. So you're a bit like Joey's out. Sinnott, not seeing him until now.
Johnny Newton.
That's a bust at the moment. That's a bust. And then
Johnny Newton was 36. Sam Rustrill was 50. Ben Sinnott was 53.
So Newton again. Joey's out. I don't think he's like, oh my god, this guy's a quality second round.
Then in the third round we had 67 pick 67 Brandon Coleman, and then 100 Luke McCaffrey.
So Coleman was the third rounder, wasn't he? He wasn't the second rounder.
Yeah. Coleman was a third. Yeah. So Coleman and McCaffrey were both our third rounders.
Again, McCaffrey.
Then the fifth, we had Jordan McGee at 139 and Dominique Hampton 161, not even on the team anymore. Yeah. And then the 7th rounder, pick 222, was Javonte Jean-Baptiste.
Well, he was looking good until he got hurt this season. So maybe that one might be a an okay.
But at the end of the day, it's a 7th rounder. You can't you can't be. Yeah, of course you are.
You're taking a flying, hoping to God that you can get something out of it.
Then this year's draft for AP, you've got Josh Connolly Jr., who I'm happy with. I think he's had a solid season, even for a rookie. He's got better over time. It's a new position for him. He was a left tackle in college. You've moved into the right hand side, so everything's the opposite side. He's learned off Sam Cosmi. He's learned off Laramie Tunsil.
He's had to play off bums like Wiley and Alashiti as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, before Cosmi was back. So and then obviously them two didn't have any. You can tell when Cosmi came back. Connection. They were both of them were god awful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and obviously that got better until obviously now. But I'm not unhappy with the Connolly one. So,
neither am I.
So then your second round,
Trey Amos.
I like Trey Amos.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, he got hurt.
I know.
This season, you know.
Jalen Lane was the 4th rounder. Again, I'm happy with that pick as a punt returner.
I'm not.
But then he's not got much of a look in because QBs have been injured all season. Hasn't been seen as this amazing deep threat that we thought he was going to be, but he wasn't ever advertised as that. You looked at this and said, in the 4th round, you've got the best punt returner in the draft.
He's
two to the house. You can't, and that's the first time since Brian Mitchell's done it.
Yeah, that's the same long time. Somebody like that, that's great. So that one you'd say that's a great pick. However, if you're playing him purely as a punt returner, it's a big tick. If you're thinking I want to play him as a receiver as well.
No,
he's not. It's a big X mark, or big X against him.
Yeah, it's an inconsistent there, isn't it?
He's not scaring anybody. No, he's meant to be lightning and fast. He's meant to be taking the top off the defenses, and defenses weren't even running with him, but letting him go because the ball wasn't going to get to him. Do you know what I mean? So
and then
they're not scared of him.
Then you got Kay Madrano, pick 205, as we know. Yeah, not been good.
He's been playing like about half a game in total. Since
he's had 27 snaps in his entire season.
Yeah, so that's about average for half a game, isn't it? You get like 50 yards, 70 depending on.
And then pick 205, 7th rounder, Jacory Krosky-Merritt belt.
Again, that isn't a tick because the 7th round you don't expect anything from that. So if you get any production, you're doing well. So, but we all knew. As soon as you start seeing this guy's tape, it's like this guy shouldn't be a 7th rounder, but the issues he had. At least AP did his job properly there. He did exactly.
I don't think AP's done poorly at picking. I think you've just got to look at it and say
bad ones there, mate. Some bad.
When you get to the 3rd year, that's when you need to then assess these players.
I always say your first 3 rounds have got to be you've got to be like really high conversion rates of good players. You know what I mean? Like they've got to be your top 3 rounds have to be like that, and then anything below that is just a crapshoot and hope to God that you pulled something out. But that's the problem. I think that's the problem you're getting is that our first rounders are doing a job, but then the second rounders haven't done much.
They've not really contributed yet.
Or they've been inconsistent. So again, it's kind of like So it's hard to. I understand what you're saying. It's a little bit hard to truly analyze these draft picks just yet, but it's still one of them things, man. It's just painful when you can't see no scary talent. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like when you go out and you go for first round and you go for top 5 guy, you go, where's the scary talent? Where's the Myles Garrett's? You know what I mean? Where's the scary talent guys? Where are they? We don't have
Jaden Daniels.
I mean, last season, this season, half the player he was. Now, again, I understand injuries and loads of things going on with it. I get it. But massively underperformed when he did play. He was missing wide open receivers. But as well, I say that's a mental thing. He's not doing the reps or whatever it is that he did first year to second season didn't work. So he's got to go back to where he was in the first year. Whatever his training regime was or whatever it was that he was doing, he needs to go back to that because this year he sucked when even he did play. To be fair, let's be honest. I
agree. Right, Scouse. I mean, we'll get out of here. Probably be back on next Tuesday. I think the 30th. We might do a pod on the 30th if you're free. If not, it'll be New Year into 2026, which is crazy to think that we've got there already. Thank you to everybody this year who submitted a question, been in the chat with us. Always constantly here. Your Rods, your Deluxes, your Jessies, your Jameses, your Ians. Everybody who's in here constantly, we really appreciate you being on with us all the time. It's endless, and that's what it's about. It's about having this good community of everybody who is in the chat with us. Yam's in here a lot as well. So shout out to everybody who's been there. Have a great Christmas, all of you, or whatever you're celebrating. Have a wonderful time with your families. Take some time off. Try not to think about football until 1 p.m, 6 p.m. If you go into the game, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. I know it's going to be probably horrible, but it is what it is. This is what we get when we're fans of the team. We'll probably be on this time next week, next Tuesday, and then we'll get back to normal time thereafter. But yeah, you got anything else to say before we go, mate?
I'm listening. I second everything you said there, mate. Have a great time with your family and friends, and don't get drunk. Don't drink too much. and definitely don't drink and drive. All right, so
yeah, that's it. Don't do that. That's definitely don't do that.
Especially if you're going to the game, you know what I mean. So one of them things.
Exactly.
But yeah, so one last question from Deluxe before we go. Says, you think AP went with safer picks to build a foundation as opposed to swinging for talent that was high risk, high reward?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think so too. But the thing is, though, is that the foundation has not been solid enough. You know what I mean? Like it's still got a lot of cracks in it, and that worries me. That at least the foundations have been rock solid set. It hasn't. That worries me. So, but yes, I do think that. 100%.
I agree. All right, then that just about does us. Thanks, Scouse, for joining me. As always, have a wonderful Christmas with your family, mate, and I'll catch up with you over the next few days.
Yeah, no worries. Bye.